Hello, I'm April Bauer, Associate Director of Financial Aid. First, I want to congratulate you, seniors. I know we are in unprecedented times right now, but this is an exciting time of your life. You are about to close a chapter of your life and open a new one. I remember those few short years after college were some of my best years of life. Enjoy every bit of it. The Financial Aid Office at Wofford wants to keep you informed about your next steps with your student loans. The first and most important step is to know who you owe. You will hear me say that many times throughout this video, and I cannot stress it enough. Undoubtedly, one of you will call me or email me in a few months to ask me, and that's totally fine. But we wanted to equip you with the tools needed to find your way through this process. Think back to your first year in college. That seems like forever ago now, right? Where were you living? What contact information were you using for phone, email, address? That was the year when you completed all of your loan paperwork. That is how your servicer is going to contact you. If any of that information has changed, it is your responsibility to update your servicer with the correct information. Simply not making a payment because you did not receive a bill is not okay. You can find out who you owe by going to studentaid.gov and logging in using your FSA ID and password that was used to sign the FAFSA. You will be able to see every federal loan you've ever had while in college. That means if you transferred to Wofford, there will be a history from your previous institution on studentaid.gov as well. You will also see a breakdown of subsidized versus unsubsidized loans. Those were determined each academic year based on financial need. Those cannot be changed now. I share this with you so that you can remember the difference. Subsidized loans have not been accruing interest while you were in college. Unsubsidized loans have. Your graduation date is going to be reported as May 17th. That is the end of the spring semester. Repayment will begin 6 months later. Sometime this fall, you should receive a notice from your servicer regarding repayment options. Parent loans also have a 6-month grace period, unless they chose to begin payment while you've been in college, in which case they already are making payments. While the Department of Education has done a better job of assigning one servicer to a student, some of you may have multiple servicers. If you do, you may want to consider consolidation. You can find more information about consolidation at studentaid.gov. There are many repayment plans you can choose from in this process: standard, graduated, extended, income-based, and pay-as-you-earn. With all of these options, you may prepay without penalty. If your parents have been saving money for you to pay your loan off in a lump sum payment at graduation, that is wonderful, and there is no penalty for that. You also can pay on a shorter schedule. Anytime that you can pay a little more a month, we encourage you to do that so that you can pay off your loan sooner. Last but certainly not least, in fact it's the second most important thing I want you to hear me say today, you can change your repayment plan once a year. To be able to do that, you have to know who you owe. One thing I personally have learned in the past 6 months is that life happens. I got a phone call one day at work from my husband. He was on the way to the hospital. He had fallen out of a tree. To be exact, I first received a text that said, "I fell going to the hospital." Maybe some of you or some of your families have experienced life and know that life happens. Please know that if a situation occurs, that is okay. You just need to contact your servicer and work with them on a different payment plan. You can do this once a year. The standard repayment plan is the lowest total cost on a 10-year term. You make equal payment amounts of at least $50 for 10 years. This is the plan the servicer is going to offer you first. However, every one of you are going to have a different financial situation after graduation. You can set up a different plan. The graduated repayment plan is also a 10-year term, but during the first 2 years, you make a smaller payment, and every 2 years, that increases until you have paid the loan in full after 10 years. You will pay a bit more in interest than the standard term. An extended repayment plan lengthens the term of your loan to 25 years. Now, everyone think about your age in 25 years. My hope is that you won't have to do this, but if life happens, as we discussed earlier, it could be an option for a short period of time to lessen your loan amount. Income-based repayment and pay-as-you-earn are the newest repayment options. Let's say you already know you're going into an amazing profession that you're passionate about, but you also know you are not going to make a lot of money. Maybe that's with the nonprofit organization, the ministry, teaching, or in public service. There are many wonderful and fulfilling professions that may not have the paycheck it deserves. Income-based repayment takes this into account. Let's say you graduate and go into one of these wonderful professions, and you're still able to pay your student loans, but then you get married and you start a family. Remember, you can switch your repayment plan once a year. You also can stay in that plan. If you choose to go into and stay in an income-based repayment plan, you still have to reapply each year for this. The payment amount is based on income and family size. I have a sweet family friend in mind who has an excellent job, and so does his wife. They struggle getting pregnant and just got wonderful news that they're having triplets. That could cause some financial stress. That may be a reason to go from a standard plan to an income-based plan. The one thing to consider is that this does extend the length of the loan to 25 years. Again, 25 years is a long time. The difference between income-based repayment and pay-as-you-earn is the discretionary income amount they use. Income-based repayment uses about 25% of your discretionary income to calculate the amount owed. Pay-as-you-earn uses about 10% of your discretionary income. Pay-as-you-earn also lengthens the loan to 20 years instead of 25 years. Under these plans, you could pay as low as $0 for 25 years and have it all forgiven. There are tax implications to think about for that, but again, you want to do what is best for your family financially. This comparison chart shows you some dollar amounts and the differences in repayment plans. You don't see much of a difference until you have closer to $45,000 in loans. The standard repayment would be about $518 per month versus $100 per month or less on the income-based repayment or pay-as-you-earn plans. You can also see here how the graduated repayment plan works. You pay less up front and it gradually increases every 2 years. Some other important options for you are deferment or forbearance. Deferment allows you to postpone the repayment of your loan if you meet certain criteria, such as in school at least half time, unemployment, economic hardship, graduate fellowship, rehabilitation training, or military service. How many of you are going on to graduate school this fall or are thinking about going sometime in the near future? As long as you are enrolled in 6 hours, your loans will defer automatically. Every institution reports on a regular basis to the National Clearinghouse. This is how servicers know whether you are enrolled or have graduated. Your new institution will report your enrollment and your loan should go into deferment automatically. Now, sometimes there can be timing issues, so the loan company may check your enrollment status and your institution may not have reported yet. If you receive a notice from your servicer and you are enrolled in 6 hours, take the letter to your registrar and they can give you something official stating you are in fact enrolled. Forbearance permits a loan holder or servicer to cease your payments temporarily or provides an extension of time for making payments or accepts smaller payment temporarily based on medical issues, financial problems that do not meet the requirements for deferment, or other special circumstances. Once again, it is important to know who you owe so that you can reach out in times that may be uncertain. If you simply stop making payments, you can become delinquent and then go into default. Going into default has consequences for the student and the institution. For the student, you can lose federal aid eligibility if you wanted to go on to graduate school, or lose eligibility to renew a professional license. The government can withhold your federal income tax refunds or withhold your wages. You may be sued and ultimately it can cause a negative credit history. For the institution, if our federal default rate becomes too high, we can lose the ability to offer federal aid for future students. Many of you would not be here or have this opportunity without federal assistance, these loans included. Therefore, please know who you owe and contact your servicer if you need help making loan payments. Loan discharge is something we have to make you aware of, but hope none of you experience anytime soon. Your loan may be discharged if you experience total and permanent disability, if Wofford were to close, if there was false certification of your borrower eligibility, if there is an unpaid school refund, or in the event of the death of a student. There are also other ways for your loan to be forgiven under income-based repayment and pay-as-you-earn plans. There are teacher loan forgiveness programs and public service loan forgiveness. Information on both of these can be found on studentaid.gov. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a lot of news about public service loan forgiveness. Make sure you follow the rules on this to the letter. The first group of students reached eligibility for this forgiveness this past fall, and less than 2% were approved originally. It was and has been a mess. It is a great program. There are medical professionals, law professionals, and many others that qualify. You just have to make sure you read all of the terms and follow them. One thing I always like to cover briefly in these sessions is debt management. Some of you may be very familiar. Others of you may not be. I will never forget my first year in college having to help my roommate balance her checkbook. I realize that doesn't exist anymore, but the principle still stands. You cannot spend more than you have in your bank account. These are some tips. Make a budget and make sure your loan payments are a fixed cost within that budget, the same as your utilities and rent. Be realistic about the earnings for your major. Stick to one credit card and keep in mind that credit cards are loans. This is not to say that you can't have a credit card or even more than one credit card. Credit is a necessity these days. The world runs on credit. It helps manage our financial lives and defines our trustworthiness. Let's take a quick pop quiz. You have a $500 debt on your credit card, which has an interest rate of 18%. Payments are only $10 a month. How long will it take you to pay it off? This is when I usually have some of you in the audience call it out to me. I'm amazed at how smart you are, and then realize it's in the handout I gave you. The answer is it will take you 94 months or 8 years to pay off $500. This is why it is recommended to only have one credit card and to live within a budget. So, what goes into your credit history? What you've borrowed, how you paid it back, and what you owe. There are 3 national credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Credit history remains for 7 to 10 years after the obligation is fully repaid. That means what you have done in college is going to follow you until you are about 30. The credit bureaus use a FICO score that ranges from 300 to 850. The higher the score, the less risk you are to the lender, so the better interest rates you will receive. This chart shows the importance of each of the components of your credit: history, amount owed, length, new credit, and types of credit. You are entitled to one free report from each agency annually. Additional reports are available if you have been denied credit. To obtain your free credit report, go to annualcreditreport.com or call 877-322-8228. You can repair your credit, and here are some myths and truths. Myth: you can get quick debt help over the phone or internet. Truth: debt help is not quick or easy. You are the only one who can get yourself out of debt. Companies touting quick, pain-free fixes are scams that cause more harm than good. These services never solve the problem. Attorneys at the Federal Trade Commission say they have never seen a legitimate credit repair company making these claims. You can repair your credit, but it takes time, conscious effort, and sticking to a personal debt repayment plan. If you have missed payments, get current and stay current. If you are having trouble making ends meet, contact your creditors. They want to work with you. Remember, your credit history stays on your account for 7 to 10 years. It's going to take time, but it is possible. The Motley Fool offers 5 tips for paying off your student loans in 4 years or less. Number 1, know your enemy. I cannot say this enough. Know who you owe. Number 2, decide to pay off the debt early no matter what. I want you to do something for me. Go ask your parents where they lived after college. So many students graduate and want what their parents have or better right away. Most likely your parents worked hard and it took years to live in the nice house they are living in right now and drive the cars they are driving right now. It doesn't happen overnight, and the sooner you can pay off your loans, the sooner you can afford to have those nicer things you may want. Maybe your parents didn't go to college, or maybe they don't live in a place you want. Think about how you can get there and the right way to get there. Number 3, prioritize your debt. You want to pay the highest rates first. Seek out a financial advisor if you're not familiar with how to prioritize or manage debt. Number 4, set up a budget and stick to it. Number 5, keep track of your loan profile and contact the servicer promptly if problems arise. This is part of being an adult, adulting. Anything you do now, you will want to make sure you are keeping track. When this is over, I'm going to ask that you complete exit counseling online at studentaid.gov. This is also where your loan history lives. Please acknowledge your loan history. Please go to your servicer information and make sure your contact information is correct and up to date. If you do that today, then in 6 months, you will be getting information where it needs to go. Now, for an update on COVID-19 and how it relates to all of the information just provided. Through this entire pandemic, I keep going back to basics. All of this information I just provided to you is the basic, bottom line, on how things work normally. I understand these are not normal times right now, and there is uncertainty from some of you about employment, graduate school, living situations. All I can provide to you right now is that there is not current legislation for our graduating seniors with loans. Everything coming down from Congress and the White House is for students who are in current repayment of loans. Your repayment period has not begun yet. Our national organization, NASFA, has reached out to the Department of Education. More decisions may not be made until it's closer to time for payments to begin for this group of graduating seniors. A lot of it probably will depend on how the market rebounds. Just keep in mind, when your repayment period begins in 6 months from May 17th, contact your servicer if you need assistance with your payment options. If you have any problems with your servicer, the Federal Student Aid Ombudsman of the Department of Education is available to help resolve any disputes. You shouldn't have any problems, but this is why it is important to keep all communication between you and your servicer. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Those of us in the financial aid office miss seeing you on a daily basis. We wish the best for each of you. Please follow the link to the exit counseling on studentaid.gov. Thank you.